Our voters have just listened to Lieutenant Governor David Dewhurst and former Solicitor General Ted Cruz debate for 1 hour here at the KERA studios. And now we want to know what you think, what impressions you had or currently have of the two candidates. I want you please to raise your hand if you came into this debate as an undecided voter. Okay, there are 6 of you, so let's start with you over here first. And tell me, what made an impression upon you tonight when you listened to the candidates?
Jamal Kadura, Arlington, Texas. Well, the first impression is listening to both candidates is Ted seems to be a man who knows his subject, knows how to talk. Apparently he's a super lawyer. And I did, told him that I really appreciate that side of him. But on the other side, I noticed and I felt, throughout the debate that our Lieutenant Governor is more experienced and throughout his service, to our country, through the CIA and through being a Lieutenant Governor and through the military. And this kind of swayed my decision to be more inclined to decide today.
So did you make a decision, or are you still taking a look at the candidates?
Actually, after this, listening to the debate, I did.
And your decision is to?
Dewhurst.
So you would support Mr. Dewhurst, Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst?
Yes, I do.
Let me ask the young lady next to you. You asked a question tonight about jobs, and you came into this debate undecided, but I understand you were leaning towards Ted Cruz.
Sure. Amanda Adamus with the Texas College Republicans. I feel that just from Mr. Cruz's campaigns, from whatever I've been able to talk to him, and he's been able to answer the questions that I've had. Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst, I haven't really had that opportunity yet to be able to speak with him or to see him even at an event where he could answer questions about the, issues that we have. Today was actually the most I've heard from Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst, and I know that they both had conflicting statements with certain issues, and it's really going to be up to the voter to go out and research to see where the truth is out there.
So are you still researching, or have you come to a conclusion?
I'm still researching.
So you're still undecided and looking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, another undecided voter?
Right here.
Your name, please?
Amanda Newman from Collin County. I've definitely made up my mind this time around, and it's definitely Ted Cruz. He's a champion of the Constitution, and I believe that he's going to go up there and he's going to fight for us and fight for our Constitution, and most importantly, foreign policy and the UN. The UN doesn't belong in the U.S. And
were you leaning towards Mr. Cruz when you came in tonight?
I wasn't. I actually hadn't had a chance to hear Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst. He hasn't come to any debate, and so I was going to give him the opportunity. And I understand he has a lot of experience, but at the same time, with that experience, he is a career politician. He's had that experience. He's had his chance. And I think some of these newer people deserve to get in there with their energy and passion and really, stand up to the government.
Our other undecided voters are up on the top row. Could you give us your name, please?
I'm Marina Miller. I'm from Collin County, and I was impressed with both candidates, very much in tune with my views as well. There was a little bit of a difference, though, in my opinion, that helped sway me to make a decision, and that was that while both candidates expressed the same views that I also hold, I think that this point in time we need someone who can go through the process that we need to bring the economy back to a place of steadiness. And while I appreciate Mr. Cruz's fight attitude, I love that, I also know that sometimes we need to take a more steady and consistent hand to just get things accomplished. And that was one of the things that I saw that helped me make my decision.
So
I did decide tonight, and my decision was for Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst.
Okay, let's talk to the gentleman next to you. Tell us what impressed you tonight, if you could, about what the candidates had to say.
My name is Mark Brown, Texas Young Republican Federation. I like both candidates. I appreciate the passion of Ted Cruz. I'm concerned that he doesn't have the experience in actually passing legislation. Dewhurst has enormous experience in passing legislation, but then I wonder if he waffles a little bit too much as well on some of the issues that are really core to Republican conservatives.
For example?
Well, we really want to keep our taxes down, but I believe that too much government spending has happened in the past, and in particular had some issues with his wage proposal that happened in the past as well. So those are some of my concerns.
So did this help you make a decision, or are you still taking a look at the candidates?
I'm still taking a look at the candidates, and I am not decided yet.
Is there an issue that for you is pivotal in making a determination?
I think for Cruz, I would want to see more practical experience and actually working with different parties to pass or come to advance an agenda or to have a set of goals that he works with other people to get done. I'd like to see more of that. And with Dewhurst, I would like to know more about his conservative record and know that he's going up there to fight for our conservative values and not going to compromise.
You seem to be talking, too, as if you want somebody who will take a bipartisan approach or who will reach out across the aisle. Am I wrong about that, or am I understanding that?
That is a very important ability to be able to do that. And that doesn't mean compromising your values, but it does mean you need to be able to know how to advance the legislation that's important to you.
Okay, great. And the voter next to you, if you could please introduce yourself and tell us what kind of impressions did the candidates make upon you?
I am Elizabeth Victory, president of the Johnson County Republican Women's Club. I was impressed that they were both very gentlemanly. I thought that was very, very, very good of them. I was impressed about the National Malpractice Tort Reform suggestion from Lieutenant Governor. I had not heard anyone say that before. I was impressed with that. I was impressed with Ted Cruz not wanting to extend unemployment just because the liberal says, well, I've discovered the longer you extend unemployment, the longer people stay unemployed. When their unemployment runs out, that's when they start looking for jobs. So I was impressed that Ted Cruz said that. Now, I've not decided yet because there's this thing they talked about, this wage tax that Dewhurst recommended, and he said he didn't. But the Cruz campaign says he did. So I want to find out the right answer somewhere. I can't believe that they're both.
So you want to do a little homework?
Yes, I'm not decided.
Okay, well, thank you. If you could pass the microphone to the gentleman next to you. This is Mr. Murray, Adrian Murray. And Mr. Murray, you're from Fort Worth. I know you came here as a Ted Cruz supporter. Did you hear anything tonight that changed your mind?
Adrian Murray from Fort Worth, and no, as a matter of fact, I came away tonight feeling that was the right choice to have made. I believe that the greatest crisis facing this country today is a constitutional one. Over the last decade or more, we've seen a shift of power from the legislative branch to the executive branch, and I believe we need to have somebody in Congress that understands that and that will stand up for the Constitution, and I believe Ted is that fighter.
So if I may ask you to give us your name and tell me what impressed you about the candidates. What did you hear that you liked, or what did you not hear? Is there something they missed?
I'm Randy Crawford from Dallas, Texas.
And you came in supporting whom?
Dewhurst.
Dewhurst, okay.
It's pretty much the same way everybody else. I heard an attorney over here, and I heard a business guy over here. And I think, he pretty much impressed everybody with the fact that he was a businessman, and Cruz did the same thing, that he was an attorney. So they both represented themselves very well. But my opinion is we need a business guy going up there instead of an attorney.
Okay, thank you. If you could pass the mic to... There we go. That's good. Okay, your name and where you're from, please.
I'm Jolene Reynolds, and I'm from Fairview, Texas, and I'm the former president of the Heritage Ranch Republican Club. I came in supporting Ted Cruz, and I did not change my mind. I followed some of the legislation over the past few years, and I sort of feel like that Dewhurst is part of the problem with some of the issues that I support or don't support, going back to the in-state tuition for illegal aliens. He supported that. Some of the bills that Dewhurst did, some of the bills that went through this year or that didn't go through, my understanding is that he prevented some of those from happening. I like Ted Cruz. I think he's grounded. He's sincere. He sounds honest. He's passionate. And I think his experience as working as Solicitor General for the Attorney General, Greg Abbott, is probably some of the finest experience you can have in preparation for being a United States Senator.
Okay, thank you very much. Gentleman next to you.
Thank you. I'm Eugene Ralph from Dallas, Texas. I represent the Minority Outreach Committee of the Dallas County Republican Party. And I came here as a Cruz supporter primarily because of what I've grown to know about both candidates. What impressed me most about watching this debate was getting an opportunity to finally get to hear David Dewhurst in this type of a format. Even with that, I was mostly impressed with Ted Cruz. He solidified my my conviction as far as standing with him. What I'm vitally concerned about is someone who's going to go to Washington, is going to stand firm on what the Constitution stands for, and is going to fight for it. What we have in Washington today is too many what I refer to as milquetoast politicians on the Republican side. The Democrats consistently demonstrate what it's like to be a leader, even when they're in a minority. The Republicans do not do that, and we need fighters on our side, and I believe Ted Cruz is going to be a fighter.
Did the Lieutenant Governor say or do anything? You were waiting to have the opportunity to be in the same room with him and listen to him. Did he say or do anything that gave you a clearer impression of who he is or made you feel any differently about how he might lead?
Yes, there were some things that he said that were, I would say, comforting if, in fact, he ends up being the Republican nominee. But there are some concerns there as well, because anytime a Republican politician supports a wage tax, that's a problem. Anytime a Republican supports giving credence to sanctuary cities, that's a problem.
So you believe Mr. Cruz is correct when he says those things?
Oh, I've already checked out the information, yes.
Okay. Gentleman next to you.
Richard Dotson, Collin County, McKinney. I came here as Mr. Dewhurst supporter, and I remain firmly so. I think his maturity, I don't like to use the word compromise to describe his activities in Austin. I think he's been a consensus builder, and a tremendous one, with awful strong leadership. Okay, and getting things done. I think we need that experience and maturity in Washington. It's a tremendous asset. Use a little analogy. If you're going to have brain surgery, you want somebody right out of medical school or somebody who's been practicing 20 years. Okay, I want Mr. Dewhurst. In regard to the young attorney, I thought he put on a tremendous show, almost as an actor. He came across to me as not really being authentic, but one who knew a lot of facts, and he presented those. And a lot of times he ran over the time with no respect to the time to the producer in the program. He wanted to finish his act, and he didn't come through to me as being near as authentic as Mr. Dewhurst. Okay.
Is there an issue that is paramount to you?
The border issue, and that goes interchanging with the sovereignty of the state and a tremendous social issue in dealing with those people that are here. Okay, I'm in favor of, go back to Mr. Bush's program, we need some type of social program, a reform in immigration, that we treat those people morally, theologically, and philosophically correct. We can't profit from their labor and then send them back without some regard. Okay, we have to solve that problem, and we need to solve it here.
So you are in favor of a guest worker program of some sort?
Some sort. And it's not a simple answer, but it's very complex, and it involves philosophical and theological issues as well as constitutional, but it's going to take people with maturity and experience in dealing with it.